Hi everyone, it's Michael from backtothefuturetrading.com. Just wanted to go over a few things with you here. Outlook for the rest of the week. Today is December 6th, 2021. We've been up to our eyeballs with new customers, so it's been challenging to get new content out to you on the channel. We'll try to be more consistent here going into the new year. I want to start out today by looking at the Emini S&P. We're going to look at it on a couple different time frames. This was today's chart using the Tacheon Warp software with the default settings. Now, if you presently own the software, we're looking at the last 2 weeks of historical data with a swing strength of 8. And when we do that, we can see that we've essentially kind of caught the banks playing hooky here with their historical data. And by that, I mean that we've essentially data mined the last 2 Mondays. And we've asked the computer to look for any behavioral inconsistencies, times where banks have historically over the last several weeks on Monday been pushing up or pushing down consistently enough at the same time to embed a pattern that the software can find. So today we were warned to look for buying pressure at 7:45, selling pressure at 9:35, buying pressure at 9:50, selling pressure at 10:20 into 11:20, where the next buying pressure move was expected. Then we were looking for that excuse me, signal with trend to extend until 12:55, and that's where things started breaking down. Right here, we see that it kind of went sideways for a while, but eventually continued to climb higher into what we know as a pattern 5. A pattern 5 is a signal where we're expecting buying pressure, but the software warns us that because of the way the signal is appearing in time in relation to price action, that is to say a higher high, a reverse polarity warning begins to form at the open of the candle and warns us that this may be a saturated or an overbought move. And it's shortly afterwards that we see the pattern 5 kick in and then drop down into the next pattern 2, selling pressure at 3:15 down into 4 o'clock. So pretty good ability here to uncover the time frames in advance and then let us know. And then as we sort of drag the model forward into the future, we can see the signals waiting for us into tomorrow morning and afternoon session. We have the times for Tuesday right here: 5:20, 6:20, 7:20, 8:05, 8:45, and so on down below. Blue lines represent predicted predicted selling pressure, and white lines are telling us to watch for buying pressure the way they did over here on the left-hand side. So we're probably the only company that I'm aware of that prints the signals on the right-hand side of the chart and warns us what to look for. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 60 and the daily. All right, if we take a look at the 60-minute chart, we'll see that this next signal here is expected to be a buying pressure signal at 2 a.m. tonight. Again, this is Monday, December 6th. We then see selling pressure tomorrow at 10 a.m., buying pressure at 2 o'clock Tuesday at 2 p.m., selling pressure at 2 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, and then buying pressure for 2 hours into 12 o'clock on Wednesday. It's worth noting here as we look left that the narrative of the signals from this point forward, when we see here that they started to push up into that 120 period moving average, there was a rejection. So initially at the buying pressure signal here, we did see a push up of about $30 or $1,500. No. Yeah, $1,500 per contract, and then it broke down. So the next buying pressure signal that we saw, it actually maintained its stop level. So right here we see sort of capitulation. The white is the last signal to acquiesce. And now we've sort of seen all the signals sort of hold their own. If we draw a halfway point between these two blue signals, we can sort of see that's when the next buying pressure signal was expected here into the next selling pressure signal, 12 o'clock today. And that signal still hasn't relented its stop loss level. So things are very much on the 60-minute chart, in a channel right now. So when you see the signals like that and the highs and the lows aren't breaking the stops, it tells me that there is a channel in place. So look for those types of signals to occur. And when we have the channel like that, one of the things you'll notice with regards to the time signals is we can sort of split that now into halves and then again with quarters. So if you want to look for support and resistance levels inside of here, break that channel right now into halves and then quarters. And if you really want to get fancy with it, you can go into eighths. And this is a trick that we learned in our force course, where you can take those time frames and those channels and subdivide them into that. So the big line now across the middle is somewhere in the 45.50 range. Then we have 45.80 followed by somewhere around 45.20. So those are the major areas inside of that we'd be looking for support and resistance. Look for pullbacks down to 45.80 and then closes above 45.96 and beyond for trend continuation to the upside. Let's take a look at the daily side of things. Okay, over on the daily, what we see here is essentially, I'll pull this out. There was a pattern 4 back on September 20th. That's a signal with trend. Again, one of those signals warning you that even though it's saying selling pressure, the way it's located in relation to price action, we expect to move up from here. We had a move up on October 8th into October 18th. Now, here's where what we were talking about earlier kicks in. When it breaks that stop level right here, right? When it breaks that stop level, it tells us that the behavior pattern that we were expecting isn't kicking in, meaning we're expecting it to kind of either consolidate or begin to move lower. And here it didn't do that. It inverted and went in the other direction. We then saw sort of the saturation here where from November 15th until looks like the 22nd for a week, we have higher and higher prices, and then it starts to break down and capitulate. Now, one of the things that we can do, and one of the principles of time, allows us to take any subdivision of time and divide it into thirds. And so we preserve time's polarity by, once we split it, making sure we oscillate across those spaces that we're creating. So again, if we sort of extend that study over to the left, we can say that this signal was the subcycle, and then this signal here was the subcycle. So if we continue that analysis forward, we'll see that inside of this signal from the 15th until the 8th of December, we do have a subdominant set of signals here. A selling pressure on the 22nd, and then a buying pressure on the 1st of December. So we are expecting prices to continue to go higher until the 8th, with support on the close of that candle, which is 45.0850. So we'll just kind of draw a line from here to here as a means of showing where support is inside of that. The last resistance is the close of this candle. So one of the targets we would expect to kind of reapproach is 46.86 area. So on the daily time frame, we're clear through the end of the week. What is today? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, through the middle of the week, where we would expect to see some more selling pressure. All right, let's go take a look at a currency. We'll sort of work our way backwards on the euro from the daily through the 60 down to the 5-minute chart for today. And you'll see here that the last active signal was on November 12th, right? Again, if you're following from home, these are default software settings on the Tacheon Warp program, 714 with a swing strength of 8. On the daily, we've loaded 1,800 historical days to search for the predictive times in the future. The next signal is actually the 6th of January. And so we see here that there are a number of days for this down stretch to continue. If we subdivide the signals using the technique that I just taught you, we'll see that the first place we expect to see buying pressure was actually back on the 1st of December. And even then, it's forming an inversion. It's starting to come back down and go the other direction. So this could be the first stand where we see sort of support, and then the next push down looks to be around the 17th of December. So this is the software that allows us to look for signals in the future based on the historical patterns of the past. Let's drop down to the 60 and see what we've got. Okay, again, we're using default values. Just to verify that, we'll see the software is referencing the last 2 weeks of Mondays with a swing strength of 8. And we'll see that coming into today, we were looking for buying pressure to push up at 4 o'clock, which was just a few hours ago. It is 5:22 here yet, so about an hour and a half ago, actually. And that's going to continue, according to this, until 7 a.m. tomorrow, followed by 12 p.m. tomorrow on Tuesday, 4 a.m. To the selling pressure side on Wednesday, and 1 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon. It's really interesting to see what took place here. Again, a lot of these trades can be super low risk. From this signal to this signal, we see a fairly large move, and then an equally large swipe back down. So a lot of the times when you think a move like that was out of nowhere and it's random, it looks like the banks actually had a plan. Let's drop down and take a look at the 5-minute chart. All right, down on the 5-minute chart, we can see we're about a 5-hour back delay here with Eastern time. So add about 5 hours to every one of the signals here. We can see that the opening market move was a fairly large one here until 5:15, and that's sort of marked the high of the day today. The first indication that we were going to see things start to break down and have the trend go down sort of occurs right here. Again, when I said when those stop lines get hit, it's sort of a warning that the banks are not supporting this move. There's a little bit of a blurb here. They're holding on. There's a double bottom down at this price. But then it starts to break down. And you can see all the places in here where those white lines are getting tagged. So the very first place that we see things start to change occurred around lunchtime today, where that blue starts to get hit, and then the white gets hit on the opposite side. So this whole thing right now is sort of in a channel, maybe a channel of support. When you see again the stops getting hit on both sides of the equation, it's helpful to look at this as a channel until one side starts to break down again. So indecision on the euro US dollar. If we look forward into the future, we can see the signals for all day Tuesday waiting for us on the right hand side if you want to stop and take a screenshot. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum next. And I gotta say, I love how this software uncovers the behavior patterns of Ethereum in real time. And again, we're the only company that produces the signals to the right-hand side of the chart and warns you when these institutional moves are likely to occur, when the big boys are getting ready to sort of rig and fix the game. So today here, as we kind of scroll back, you'll see 825 into 1035. Again, just a beautiful move up here from 1035 into 1205. There's the selling pressure. Down we come into 150, up into 325, and then at the close here today, we get this breakout new high from 420 until 520. The nice thing about Coinbase and Ethereum is that it's just trading with a lot of liquidity throughout the Globex session overnight into the Asian and London sessions. So moving forward in the future, we see the signals waiting for us for tomorrow. You can stop and pause the screen here and take a look. That's all the way through tomorrow afternoon. And if you're interested in seeing more of these screenshots for a particular market, make sure you write a comment down below on what you'd like to see, and/or you can email me, Michael at backtothefuturetrading.com, and I'll put together some custom forecasts for you as well so you can see this. Let's go ahead and shoot on up to the 60-minute chart and see what we've got. Woo! Very nice moves here on Ethereum on the 60. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, get rid of all of our drawing objects, and we'll see here that it's very clear to me which stop got broken. At 9 o'clock, that selling pressure signal is violated. That tells me that institutions are involved again. They want to see this price rise higher until 9 o'clock tonight. A resumption of the uptrend and more pushing. 3 a.m. this morning, 8 a.m. Euro time on Tuesday into 6 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. The next push up is 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning into 9 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. So a lot of indecision in here, but we see it finally broke out 5 o'clock about 30 minutes ago, and we're seeing that push up. Let's make our way up to the daily and see what Ethereum has to offer. Okay, over here on the daily chart, we see that we had buying pressure coming into November 9th, down into selling pressure from the 9th until the 15th. And again, this is one of those things where you look at it and you go, uh-oh, that stop line was violated here. This is about 1.5 ATR values away from the low. And a very interesting thing is happening in Ethereum right now. What you'll see is that the 15th behaved like a selling pressure signal. The 25th behaved like a buying pressure signal. The 1st behaved like a selling pressure signal. And now the 4th is acting like a buying pressure signal. So 2 pattern 4s pushing up. There's a reversion here on the 1st. So according to this, these are the times that are important. The direction out of the 4th right now is up until December 15th. December 10th. Old eyes here. So again, the signals are behaving in reverse right now. We call this a reverse polarity situation. And we're pushing up on the 25th, back down on the 1st, and then up again on the 4th. Once you see it, it's kind of hard to not see it. And so we expect that trend to continue until the 10th of December. If you need any more information about the software, you can visit us at backtothefuturetrading.com. The software is actually being sold today for end of year prices with our Black November, Black December. Everything's on sale at the end of the year, and we do have weekly webinars that you can attend to learn more information. Down here below on the bottom of the Warp page, you'll actually see there's a link for the webinar, a link to meet with me one-on-one, as well as a link to our video demo. The software is now $750 off end of year Black Friday, Wednesday, November, December pricing. And you can email me or attend the webinar for the promo code. I'll be happy to give it to you. Also put it in the comments if you need it there. Thanks again, everyone. Look forward to your feedback in the comments. Let me know what kind of markets you're looking at. Let me know if these videos are useful and if you want them to be a regular thing. I'll make sure every week to get in here and give you some perspective. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.